Hey guys, my name is Carla and I'm going to be doing a Bible study called Lies Young Women Believe. This is the study guide. That's what it looks like. And it comes along with this book. And I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on it and reading to you the book so you don't have to buy it. You could just buy this. Also, as I'm reading, I'm going to put important facts like right here. Or if I'm reading off the Bible, I'll put it here as well, so in case you can't hear me that well. So I'm going to start reading on page 1. It's called Blazing Lies. From the time she was in junior high when her parents divorced, our friend Erin Davis struggled with panic attacks. They came mostly at night, and they were spurred by horrific nightmares. When she awoke, sometimes she could barely breathe. She dreaded going to sleep because she never knew what she'd wake up in the middle of the night and feel suffocated by fear. She went to college and married her high school sweetheart. Together they ministered to youth of their church, but Erin hid the fact that she was still plagued by panic and fear. Worn down and completely exhausted, she finally asked some friends to pray with her about what might be causing these reoccurring sudden bouts of paralyzing fear. The friends asked what kind of thoughts ran through her mind during the panic attacks. As Erin shared what she felt during those times, it became obvious that her panic attacks were reactions to thoughts and underlying beliefs that simply were not true. Her feelings were very real and were very based on some pretty serious destructive lies. Lie number 1, everyone leaves. Lie number 2, I have to take care of myself. And lie number 3, I can't wear my heart on my sleeve or it will be crushed. It was easy for Erin's friends to see these statements were contrary to God's truth, but she needed to see it. As they prayed together, her friends asked her to consider what God would say about her about those things. Here's what they concluded. The truth about lie number 1, everyone leaves. The truth being, I will never leave you or forsake you. Lie number 2, I have to take care of myself. The truth being, be still and know that I am God. Erin realized that she was trying to play the role of God in her own life. Lie number 3, I can't wear my heart on my sleeve or it'll be crushed. The truth being, they will know we are Christians by our love. In case you didn't catch it, the truth Erin concentrated on these prayers time are powerful scriptures right out of the Bible. These verses became the focus of her prayer team that day. Over the next few days, she continued to meditate on those verses and she began to reprogram her thinking. The results were amazing. When Erin drove home a few days later, staying in a hotel room all alone, she slept peacefully without nightmares or panic for the first time in a long time. Her parents are still divorced. She still struggles with fear from time to time, but it rarely rises up powerfully, as the night after night for almost 10 years. The lie she believed at one time put her in bondage. It was the truth that set her free from those chains. We believe the vast majority of Christian young women, and not so young women for the matter, are suffering from consequences of believing lies. Those consequences include broken relationship, fear, depression, and guilt, just to name a few. These results of believing a lie can be as vast as the kind of lies that they are able to believe. But if there is one word that sums up the result of believing any lie, would be bondage. The dictionary defines bondage as slavery, the state of being bound by some external power, the state of being under the control of a force or influence. In other words, when you believe a lie, that lie can begin to control areas of your life. The Bible says that whatever overcomes a person, so that he is enslaved. 2 Peter 2:19. Are those consuming areas of your life that can't stop thinking about perhaps food, guys, or appearance? Do you feel as if your life is being controlled by powerful emotions like fear, depression, anger, loneliness, jealousy, or self-pity? Are those harmful habits or destructive patterns you can identify in your life, things like cutting yourself, drinking, using drugs, or sexual activity, that you just can't seem to change or let go of? We want you to know that you're not alone. In order to write this book, we spoke to over 1,000 young women across the nation. We were looking for signs that they might be believing lies that were leading to bondage. We didn't have to look long. Many of them readily admitted to us that they believe Satan lies about themselves, their parents, their relationships, and even God. The 25 lies we address in this book come from things that young women told us. Things like, I am worthless, or I don't have any friends, or I'll never overcome my sins. These kinds of statements confirm the concerns that motivate us writing this book in the first place. We have been lied to and we have been deceived. It all began with the first woman who ever lived. Eve was approached by Satan himself, the father of all lies, in the Garden of Eden. She believes the deceiver's lies. It is impossible to calculate all the troubles in our world that has resulted from a single event. Lies are devastating. In fact, just one little lie can turn your world upside down. Since that time, Satan's lies have continued to affect how we all think of us. Since that time, Satan's lies have continued to affect how all of us think. They're everywhere. They're even on the pages of magazines we read, in the movies we watch. They're all over TV and over the internet. They can be found in the texts we get in our conversations that we have with our friends. We even begin to hear them echoing in our own thoughts, and we start lying to ourselves. But a lot of girls we talked to couldn't see the deception, even though they were buried in emotions, relational, physical, and spiritual consequences of those lies. That's the hard part. By their very nature, lies are deceptive. They're not easily detected. You can swallow a huge destructive lie, hook, line, and sinker, and even not know it. We are convinced that many young women are experiencing the destructive consequences of believing lies, but cannot see the connection between what they are experiencing and those deeply embedded lies. It makes us wonder, can you see the deception in your own life? We dare you to take what is the status of your lying embers. It is a mini version of our nationwide Blazing Lies test. It should reveal with no scientific accuracy whatsoever areas you might be experiencing deception. So, in the book and in the workbook, there is a little quiz. I'll put a screenshot up here so you can see it bigger, and you can pause it and take it on your own, or if you're taking notes. So the quiz is, you're going to pick one of the two options between 15 questions, and I'll read them out loud to you. And I'll let you know what I picked, what I circled now compared to what I would circle when I was in high school. Question 1, relaxed or totally stressed out? My answer now and in high school would be totally stressed out, just because academics. In high school, I wasn't really focused on my schoolwork. I was more focused on my status quo. What did people think about me? That's what I felt like in high school. But in college, it's more about my academics. Like, am I doing good enough for the degree I am? In order to stay in my major, which is psychology, I have to have a certain GPA. I have to have a certain grade in each class. And I feel like that stress is always on me. Question number 2, happy to be single or gotta have a guy? In high school, my answer would definitely be gotta have a guy. I always felt pressure to be dating whoever my friends told me I looked good with, and I did just that. I dated people who I didn't really like, I didn't really love, or was I attracted to. I just did it to fit in. My answer now is happy to be single, because I rather wait for the perfect guy that God has for me, which we'll later talk about further on in this Bible study. Question number 3, good with what you got or ugly? My answer in high school would definitely be ugly. I was always self-conscious and comparing myself to my other friends, comparing to what they wore and what I didn't wear, because I wouldn't wear revealing clothing and they would, and it would make me feel like I was wrong, which I definitely wasn't. My answer now is I'm good with what I got. I am beautiful, no matter what society says or whatever the beauty standard is. God made me who I am, and I know I'm healthy in my eating habits. I know I dress the way I want to dress and not the way society wants me to dress. Number 4 is forgiven or guilty? I feel like in high school my answer would definitely be guilty, just because I always felt guilty for doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, that were normal for that age but also not normal. Now I would definitely choose both, just because I know I'm forgiven through Christ, and I know no matter what I do, I'll always be forgiven. But there's times where we fall, we're human, so we just have to remember that yes, we are guilty, but that also means we are forgiven. Question number 5, definitely taking my problems to God first or gotta ask my friends for advice? In high school, my answer would most definitely be gotta ask my friends for advice. I didn't ask my mom for advice, or I'd never had someone I could just go to who I felt secure to ask, like when I had like boy problems or friend problems or just stress and anxiety about school. I never had someone who I could just go to. Now I know I can go to God directly to my problems. He knows exactly what I need to hear. I can go straight to the Bible and find the answers that I need, which definitely took time from learning from high school and now. Question number 6, got just enough friends or lonely? In high school, my answer would be got just enough friends, and now it would be the same. The only difference being that in high school I thought having the most amount of friends would make me happy, And transitioning into college, I've realized, at my third year in college, I've realized that having the most amount of friends really isn't friendship. It's those select few that are truly your friends that are really going to be the ones with you. So in reality, in high school, my answer would be lonely. Question number 7, friendly or totally PMSing? In high school, definitely totally PMSing. I was always moody. I was always angry about something. Always angry about this A, B, C, and D, which we'll get into further in the study. Now it would definitely be friendly. I'm content with what I have. I'm happy with the person I've become and who I'm still becoming. Question 8, authentic or hypocritical? In high school, I would think I was authentic, but in reality, I was very hypocritical. I would be one person at school and be another person at church or at home. I would not completely change, but there would be a slight shift, which we will also talk about more in the book. Now I would say I've learned to be authentic, being the same person no matter where I go, which again we'll get through in the book. Number 9, in control of my tech world, or would die without texting and social media. In high school, my answer would most definitely be would die without texting and social media. I would always be on my phone. I would always be on social media, constantly updating it. And now I'm hardly on social media because I don't care what people think my perfect life is, because that's essentially what social media is. I post when I feel like I need to post, or when I want to post, when I feel, just because I feel like it. Question 10, confident in my stand to be pure or ashamed to stand alone? In high school, I was definitely self-conscious about waiting till marriage, and it was something that my friends would tease me about, not like in a mean way, just subtly. And again, as growing up, I'm proud to just know that I'm waiting for the right person and not caring if other people are not believing the same thing I believe. We all have the right to follow the path that we wish to believe, and we shouldn't make anyone feel bad for what they choose. Question 11, content with what you got or must shop now? In high school, again, I was content, but there was always something in the back of my mind that was like, but if you had this, but if you had that, maybe you would be cooler, you would have more friends, you would look better, stuff like that. And now I'm like, if I want something, I wait a couple of weeks, and if I still want it, I'll get it. Or if it's too expensive, save money for later. I don't need to have something to be happy. I want things. That doesn't mean it will make you happy. Number 12, the real deal or different depending on who I'm with. That kind of goes back to question 8, authentic or hypocritical. Question 13, walking in victory or unable to overcome certain sins. In high school, definitely unable to overcome certain sins, just because you're constantly being pressured by your friends or your teachers or parents. You're always just being pressed on. And now I'm walking in victory. I know that my battles are already won, and I just got to get through them and push through to the other end, which again we will get through. We will dive deeper as we go on. Number 14, content to submit or angry with my parents. In high school, I was definitely angry with one of my parents, and we'll talk about that as well. And now I'm content to submit, not in the way you're thinking, which again we will get through later on in the book. And last one, confident in God's protection or afraid of Satan. In high school, I was definitely afraid of Satan. I thought he was this scary looking guy who just was mean and whatever, just because of how social media portrays him and how the church portrays him. And now I know that I'm confident in God's protection. He can't touch me. Satan can't touch me, and he can't destroy me if I don't allow him to, which again we will get much more deeper as we get along. Okay, on page 14. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out that we use some unhealthy descriptions first and some unhealthy descriptions last. So look back at your test. What did you write down? And reflect on what exactly makes you feel like the way you feel. Like for question 1, relaxed and totally stressed out in your journal, write what makes you stressed out. Or if you picked relaxed, really double double check yourself and really be honest with taking this little quiz, because if you're not honest, then maybe you are lying to yourself. So be totally authentic and be totally honest with your answers so you can gain something out of it. If you live with positive, healthy emotions and relationships the majority of the time, thank God that He has kept you shielded, but don't put down this book. You may not be believing lies yourself, but you are still a part of this crisis. We need you to join us in putting out the lies that are blazing through your generation, our generation. The Bible says that we have a responsibility to try to restore those who wander off from the truth. God wants you to reveal truth to those who are trapped in deception. We think you'll find some practical encouragement within these pages. Or, at some level, you're experiencing negative emotions or harmful responses that have been rooted in lies you believe through you may not even realize they are lies. You're in the Amber Alert. You're in danger group. What makes us think that you're in this group? Well, we've been there. We've fallen for many of the lies in our own quiz. However, we, along with countless of others, have learned how to find freedom from the lies Satan throws our way. We want to show how you can break free from the lies you may be believing. We want you to be free from deception, guilt, confusion, condemnation, and discouragement from the results of believing those lies. So this book is going to really focus in on 25 lies that majority of young women believe and break down the lie and break down the truth behind the lie that we are believing in ourselves. So in order to understand the lie, we personally have to experience the truth. So I'm going to start reading off my notes in my journal, and just to give you insight of my thoughts when I was reading this. Those lies are the bondages that don't allow us to live life to the fullest. In order to understand the lies, we personally have to experience the truth. Right now, you're living in a time where you don't understand the full truth. Right now, you're under the deception of what Satan wants you to believe, and you are now lying to yourself. Those lies are the bondages that don't allow us to live life to the fullest. Our emotions play a huge part in our character and will affect our life directly. Your emotions are tied down to those lies. Our emotions control everything that we put forth. What our character is, what our personality is based off those emotions. And those emotions are based off how people respond to us, our reactions, and everything. Alright guys, so that was the introduction to lies young women believe. In the next video, we'll read The Deceiver, and we'll get to see more about how Satan works. Like, where do lies come from, and how do those lies affect us personally. So see you in the next video.